Welcome everyone to another episode of PTC Live. Today, I am incredibly excited about our very special guest. We have the one and only, our teaching partner extraordinaire, Mr. Doug Seligman. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Thanks so much for being here. So excited to talk to our audience here about the incredible work you do here at Pickens, supporting our instructors, supporting great instruction in all of our classrooms. But before we even get started with that, would love to just hear a little bit about your illustrious career and what brought you here to Pickens.
Sure. Interestingly enough, when I moved to Colorado back in 1996, my first teaching job was at Aurora Central High School. So I was there 4 years. I'm an English teacher by trade. So it's been nice to come back to APS after so much time away. Experiencing different jobs, different positions. I continued teaching down in Douglas County. Became an administrator, principal of several schools in different districts, and had retired right when COVID hit. And when this position came open, a friend of mine is doing similar work at a different school here in APS, said, Doug, you need to look into this. Much to the delight of my wife. I don't know if I was as excited as she was, but came here, met the team, and took on the role of teaching partner because it lets me do something I'm very passionate about, which is helping instructors get better at the craft of teaching. So that's what we do here as teacher coaches, specifically me as a teaching partner. So I'm a liaison really between the district and the school, but I think that the important part of my work, our work as a team, is to give these fabulous trades folks just some of the education I got when I learned how to become a teacher.
Wow. So Doug, you talked about some of the instructional supports that you provide for our incredible instructors here at Pickens. And just one thing I definitely want to point out to the audience is the fact that the majority of our instructors did not go to a traditional teaching college. Our instructors really are experts at their craft, experts in the industry that they came from. And so we have instructors that had been in the field and then come right into a teaching position. So really, the work that you do is just so incredibly important.
As I said before to other folks, I've met one staff member who actually did go to school for vocational education. The rest, as you pointed out, are experts in their fields and crafts. And so really our job is to give them the tools they'll take to be successful in the classroom, because there's so much to it. There's student engagement. Classroom management is not an issue. I've never actually worked at a calmer, more positive environment. I mean, the students are polite and energetic and really want to learn this stuff, which that makes it easier for the teacher. But the instructors here are amazing. But what we provide them, either in individual coaching cycles, so we have 3 coaches. Each of us takes on folks to mentor one-on-one. In addition, we have year 1, year 2, and year 3 cohorts, and each one of us is assigned to one of those groups. And sometimes we cross the streams and work with each other. My specific group I'm working with is our year 3 cohorts. So folks who have been doing this for a little while, and we're just breaking that connection and letting them, be full-time at what they do. So we meet monthly, but we're talking about the important work. We're talking about student-centered instruction. We're talking about culturally responsive teaching, the things that the school is working on throughout the year. So really fine. That's really the fine tuning with the year 3. Year 2, little more hands-on with Tracy, Fate, and then Dennis Benning works with our year 1s who said the overall majority have never done this work before. So he's helping them with everything because first years need it the most. Mm-hmm. I will say that when I was a first-year teacher, I did have not a coach, I had a mentor assigned to me, but she ran the special education department. We weren't doing the same thing. I saw her in passing. It was a nice try.
Right.
But this helps us get our teachers through the induction program that's required for them to get their professional licenses here in APS.
That's fantastic. I'm really glad that you stated that because we know from the research, and not to get too into the weeds here, but we certainly know with new instructors that support is critical to that longevity in the classroom. And so it's so nice to hear we've got a first year cohort, second year cohort, third year cohort, everyone there has a mentor. Everyone has those mentor/coaching opportunities. And so it's really great to just know that level of support that instructors get here at Pickens.
Because the research backs it up completely, as you said. I think it's 15 to 20% of new teachers leave this line of work within the first 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's vital that we provide this, and it makes a world of difference. When people feel secure and they feel supported, they'll stay and do the work that they're best at.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so glad you mentioned that. So Doug, when we look at other technical colleges, other community colleges, what have you seen in terms of the coaching supports, the mentorship supports for new instructors?
It's interesting you bring that up, Andrew, because when I took on this job, I started doing research. I got online and I wanted to see what other schools of our sort are doing. There's not much out there.
Really?
I found maybe one organization, and they're kind of doing it. I know that there's a local Colorado-based system of 3 to 6 schools. They're kind of rolling this out, but it's still new to them. On top of that, I have a relative who works at, we'll just say, a rather large institution in this state as a professor. There's nothing there.
Wow.
She and some colleagues have gotten together to try to set up their own support structure. This is the third school, she's moved around a little bit across the United States. She said at other schools, universities, mind you, here's the textbook, maybe here's a syllabus, good luck.
Yeah.
Maybe she saw an administrator in there once a year, maybe.
Wow.
So what we're providing here is a systemic style of support that really is groundbreaking, and we know that it's going to make a huge difference in the lives of our students.
Absolutely. And I love the way you tied that back to the lives of our students, because really that's what it's all about. When we know that when we're able to support our instructors, give them some of the pedagogical knowledge that they need to succeed and support them along the way, we know that's when our students thrive. So I really appreciate you pointing that out. It's a big deal. And thank you for all the work that you're doing.
Well, thanks. It's fun to be here, Andrew, and it's a pleasure to work with you.
All right. So Doug, can you tell us a little bit about maybe one particular learning experience with an instructor where you've kind of seen them grow over the course of your time here?
Sure, and I've only been here a couple months, but I do know one instructor I'm working with, returning instructor.
Okay.
From last year. I sat in this class, I observed a little bit to see what was going on, and just made the fine-tuning recommendations. Mm-hmm. This is going really well. Have you thought about this kind of structure or student engagement idea to get the students up and moving? And he started incorporating those, and what he's noticing is a little more buy-in from his students. Mm. And it wasn't a huge thing. It wasn't like change the lighting, move the front. No, it was pairing students up together, letting them interact a little bit more, trying to get away from what most people consider the traditional college experience. A lot of sit and get. Mm-hmm. You have the professor down there, we're sitting up here, and we're just receiving waves after waves of knowledge. When in reality, what works best is really engagement of students in a way that doesn't seem contrived, mm-hmm. and lets them explore what they're doing on a more hands-on, person-to-person basis.
I love that you talk to that, because we're all about that student engagement.
Yes.
Right? Like, we know that sit and get does not work for so many students across the board, but for many of our students choose to come here because they get that hands-on inquiry-based experience. Mm-hmm. Which is just so powerful. And so love that you are doing the work with instructors to help them set up situations where students are able to interact and engage with one another. Because we know that's where the learning happens.
Absolutely.
Thanks for doing that work, because that's just pushing everything forward.
Makes it fun to come to work every day.
I love it. So Doug, thank you so much for joining us here on PTC Live today. We loved hearing about all the incredible things that you are bringing from the instructional coaching lens. As I said before earlier, we're so lucky to have you here, and just really grateful for all the work that you're doing across the campus.
Well, it's a joy to be here, and it's great to be supporting the work of our teachers and our students, especially in such a positive and inviting environment. So thank you, sir.
Amen to that. Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here for another episode of PTC Live, and we can't wait to see you next time. Take care, everyone.